Wilbur Soot spent years building up an audience of over 6 million subscribers on YouTube and 4.7 million followers on Twitch. However, in the past weeks, a series of allegations has been released that has totaled his reputation, having all his friends completely turn against him and losing fans by the second leaves us asking, how exactly did Wilbur Soot get himself in this situation? On the 22nd of February 2024, a user by the name Shubble, real name Shelby, would post a tweet reading, talking about something more serious, where she would go on to state that in a relationship in the past, she was being abused. The abuse she was talking about was in the form of biting.
Silence has always brought me peace, and this time it feels like my silence is not keeping my peace. It's only keeping somebody else's peace.
After mentioning that at the time she didn't see this as violent, looking back at her past made her realise just how traumatising this situation truly was. Shubble informs us that the biting at first was soft and didn't seem to stress her too much.
He hadn't hurt me, and why would I think he ever would? And then he did, for the first time, by accident. And I don't specifically remember the actual first time that he bit me too hard by accident because I didn't think that it would be significant. I thought that it would only happen once. And he started biting me more and more over a period of time, sort of throughout the whole relationship. And accidents of him biting too hard and really hurting me happened more and more frequently.
It came to the point where her boyfriend had to leave for an unknown amount of time, and this is when Shubble took action and decided to break up with him. Although not specifically mentioning the abuser within the stream, fans were quick to put together a clue at who this person could really be. Within the stream, she had given a few more hints, like the fact he is from a British household, spent all his time at the computer, and lived in absolute filth. With the stream coming to an end and fans flooding in to support her, this is where the digging started. Wilbur Soot became a prime suspect in the situation, and the evidence is as follows. People on Twitter began acknowledging that the two had been together in the past. There are photos and videos online of the two together, but what people were more focused on was the biting. Wilbur is commonly seen in videos pretending to bite the camera, and commenters would even state, Shelby herself said that even when she repeatedly used your safe word, you would continue to bite her and press on her bruises. There is nothing consensual, playful, and reciprocally enjoyed about that. Shelby mentioning that there was an ant infestation and the abuser lived in filth was another key point leading that she was talking about Wilbur.
He lived in filth like I have never seen. And I've seen filth. This was the worst. He would spill things on the floor and never, literally never, clean them up. He got an ant infestation once and wasn't going to do anything about it because he said, bugs are normal in British houses.
On a podcast posted back in 2021 by a user called Hey and Stuff, it is very clearly Wilbur Soot talking. And he mentions how he's always had an interest in bugs as a kid.
I really like bugs. Ever since I was a kid, I was really into like bugs and insects. When I was really, really small, there was a bunch of woodlice that used to live in our garden.
The third piece of evidence comes from the prior knowledge that Wilbur is in a band called Lovejoy, which is often touring around the country, leaving little time to stay in a relationship with Shelby. And this also would explain why she stated earlier that once he had to leave for a long period of time, presumably when Wilbur was going on tour, this is when she broke up with him, and as found out by YouTuber FoxAkimbo.
On that note, one clue that Twitter didn't pick up on though was something that Shubble said about their relationship at the start. She claimed that at the very beginning of this relationship, everything was going well, and this abuser would make grand gestures towards her that would sweep her off her feet.
Then he made these huge romantic gestures. He wrote me the most beautiful love letter that I had ever read.
Wilbur, as I've already mentioned, is the lead singer for Lovejoy, and according to their Wikipedia, all 4 band members share songwriting duties. You could see how one might assume that someone who writes for one of the biggest upcoming bands in the world could have the capability to write someone the greatest love letter that they had ever read.
The entire Wilbur Soot Discord has been completely shut down, and a former trumpeter for the band wrote, "Oh, I have so much I could say on this. I was also bitten and saw it happen so many times. Shelby, I support you all the way." Zoe had been associated with Wilbur in the past, which is why this tweet is argued by many to be enough evidence to confirm that Wilbur is the abuser. So how did Wilbur respond to the allegations against him? On February 28th, he would post a tweet that has no subheadings at all, just 2 separate images that read the following. "In the past week, a series of allegations have been made over my conduct from an ex-girlfriend. I want to emphasize that although I feel it fair to offer my perspective, this person's feelings are completely valid. During our relationship's final moments, I regrettably became slobbish, disrespectful, and selfish. These actions caused a lot of pain to my ex-girlfriend, and I've since sought therapy to address these behaviours. The allegation of abuse, particularly in the form of biting, deeply shocked me. Throughout our relationship, I understood from our numerous conversations and text message exchanges on the subject that this behaviour was consensual, playful, and reciprocally enjoyed. I truly believe those personal message exchanges reflect mutual affection and understanding. While I may perceive our interactions differently, I recognise that this person has processed and expressed feelings of hurt. I want to extend my sincerest apologies for any pain that I caused." This post alone gathered over 40 million views, but the real problem is that this wasn't an apology at all. What Wilbur had just put out to 40 million people was his side of the story, and people weren't buying it. Lil Tay, narcissism at its finest. Purpled writing, "Disappointing response, focus on the victim's thoughts and feelings, not your own," and this comment having more likes than Wilbur's post says something. A majority of this is full of ways you've claimed to have grown and changed since this has happened, but you've basically made what should be an apology of the pain you caused someone about yourself while barely saying anything else about it, and that speaks volumes. And even responses like this.
I got something for you to bite.
While some people were making fun of Wilbur Soot, his friends online would all end up releasing their own thoughts on the situation.
I think that response was fucking vile. I'm like, how the hell can you make, like, how the hell can, like, this be about you, bro?
This response doesn't surprise me at all. I've witnessed you be manipulative to so many people around me, and you haven't changed one bit. Your apology is so self-centered, and you're more concerned about your career than the amount of harm you have caused. I think the focus of what this statement should have been is totally off. This appears that the main focus is yourself and your growth, and less for the person who was abused. A sincere apology should have been at the very forefront of what you posted. And ever since, Wilbur has been completely silent and hasn't released anything more. It seems everybody has taken sides with Shelby, as on March 2nd she would tweet, "Thank you for listening. I want to say the biggest thank you to everyone showing their support. I have never seen so many communities come together to have somebody's back like this, with every single comment respecting her decision to do this."